There's something powerful about growing your own food, not just because it saves money, not just because it tastes better, but because it reconnects you to something real. In a world where food prices keep rising, grocery shelves sometimes look uncertain, and so much of what we eat is processed and shipped thousands of miles. More people are starting to ask an important question. What if I could grow my own food? And the truth is, you can, even if you only have a balcony, a few buckets, or a small backyard. Today, we're talking about why growing your own food matters more so than ever, and why starting small could completely change your life. Reason number one, food just hits differently. The first time you eat something fresh from your own garden, you notice the difference immediately. A tomato picked off the vine tastes nothing like the one sitting in grocery stores. Fresh herbs smell stronger. Greens taste cleaner. Fruit tastes sweeter. That's because store-bought produce is often harvested early so it can survive shipping and storage. But when you grow your own food at home, you harvest rather at peak ripeness, and you begin to realize what food is actually supposed to taste like. You gain control over how your food is grown. You decide what goes into your soil, what sprays to use, what fertilizers you trust. The peace of mind matters, especially today. Reason two, gardening saves money. Food prices have changed a lot over the past few years. I remember when COVID came out, my local grocery store was completely empty. And while gardening won't replace every grocery trip overnight, it can absolutely help. One packet of seeds can produce pounds of food. A single tomato plant can keep producing for months. Herbs are one of the biggest money savers. Basil, onions, green onions, mint, rosemary. These things cost a lot in stores, but grow surprisingly well at home. And you don't need a lot of expensive equipment to start. Some people grow food in buckets, grow bags, recycled containers, and raised beds. And believe it or not, you've heard me mention before, when I first started, I grew in my 5-gallon buckets and 73 grow bags in a 9 by 11 space on my patio. These are some of my original 5-gallon buckets, and I've had them since 2022, 2023, and they're still producing and still serviceable. If you're going to use buckets like this, one quick reminder, they have to be food grade. Bottom line, you can start with what you have. That's the most important part. Reason three, food security and independence. Growing your own food creates something deeper, security. When you grow food, even a little bit, you become less dependent on systems that you cannot control. You learn skills that people depended upon for generations: planting, harvesting, preserving, composting, and seed saving, just to name a few. And all of those skills matter. All of those skills matter, especially during uncertain times. Now, this doesn't mean that you need acres of land or a full homestead. I'm lucky and blessed to have that. But as I mentioned before, when I started, I was in a 9 by 11 patio. Even growing a few crops teaches self-reliance. A small garden can become the start of a completely different mindset. I know that is what happened with me. Once your mindset has changed, it turns to one of producing more and depending less. Reason 4, the mental health benefits. Many of you have heard me say that I started gardening to deal with stress from my job, where I was a supervisor for the county's 911 system. A very stressful job. I'd stayed gardening not only because I was able to grow food, but gardening started to make me feel good. It taught me the lesson to slow down and be patient. It got me outside. It gave my mind a break from constant noise, screens, stress, and pressure. There is something grounding and soothing about putting your hands in the soil and watching life grow. You begin paying attention to the seasons again, even though when I started, I was in Southwest Florida, where we have summer and 3 weeks of fall, pretty much. But I started to realize that rain matters, sunlight matters, patience matters, and in a fast-moving world, gardening taught me something that many people have forgotten. Good things take time. Reason number 5, you don't have to be perfect. One reason that people never start gardening is because they are afraid of failure and think that they have to be perfect. I'm here to tell you that that's not necessarily true at all. It is not true at all. I'm going to show you one of my fruit trees. This is a Santa Rosa plum, and it is finally starting to put on leaves and grow. One of the reasons that a few years back I would have never planted this is because I felt that I needed to know everything before I started. But one thing that I have learned is that a gardener learns by doing. Plants die sometimes. Seeds fail. Weather changes. That's normal. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. Over time, I learned to start growing stuff that was easy, like lettuce, radishes, peppers, green beans, tomatoes, and herbs, to name a few. And that being successful for the first time helped me to build from there. Every season has taught me something new, and YouTube has also taught me more than I can ever pay back. Reason number 6, the bigger picture. Growing food helps you change your way of thinking about consumption. You waste less and you appreciate your meals more. You become connected to nature and the work behind every bite. Kids learn, my grandkids included, learn where their food actually comes from, not the local Publix, the local Wally Mart, or Aldi's. Families spend more time together outside. Communities become stronger when people share seeds, harvest, and knowledge. And maybe the most important part, growing food reminds us that we are capable of creating something valuable with our own hands. That really matters. If you've been thinking about starting a garden, take this as your sign. Start small. Start messy, but start. Because one container can become a garden, and one seed can completely change the way you see food forever. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, leave me a comment, and tell me what you are growing this season. The best time to have started a garden was years ago. The next best time is today.